my house with me as a single mother of two beautiful kids without a help. While we talk about house helps, you all know that I shared a story about my live-in house help experience earlier this year. I think I had two different stories. I should put my stories in a playlist so that you guys can get to, watch them. Anyway, this is how my house looked like today. So before we start cleaning, we're going to secure the baby because he cannot be all up in our business. So you guys, Minal was brought to me in the month of March, and my preference when I was talking to the agent was I wanted, someone around 10 to 13. I wanted a child basically to come and be like a playmate for my kids. One, I was planning on starting a new business, a new food business, and I wanted someone to be, around with the kids, playing with the kids. Someone that is not completely a baby or a toddler. See, I don't know how to explain it, but that was just what I wanted. And I told the agent that Mina wouldn't be doing heavy liftings because I had someone else who was older, I think about 20 something, who does the heavy lifting, the heavy cleanings and like deep cleanings for us. And she's currently in poly and doing her project, so she's kind of busy, and I needed someone to just do the mini day-to-day cleaning for me and equally just be around the kids. So when they brought Minal, she was cute. Her name is Amina, but the agent called her Minal. I think they were just trying to, beautify the name in a way that, it will sound like Suna Yaro masculine and all of that. Well, I liked Minal, and I actually liked her immediately she came. So I laid down my ground rules. See, my ground rule was just that I don't like lies, and if whatever you want to talk to me about, or whatever problem you think you have or complain or anything, feel free to come talk to me and all of that. Minal was a blank person. Minal was really blank, had zero emotions, and me, I just felt like they've already traumatized her by bringing her out here to come work and be like a cash cow for her parents. But I just felt like she was still a child, like she was still very much innocent, and she wouldn't have any bad traits with her, especially because she's a child one, and then my house is like the second house she's been to. The first house she worked for 3 months, and the agent said they were overworking her compared to like what they said she would be doing when they requested for her. So fast forward to a few months into being together, I got her toiletries, I got her, outfits, like outfits that stay home outfits basically, and then sleepwears, and whatnot. And my sister was in charge of, when they brought her, she checked her things. I only told her I don't like lies. I'm an very, very open person, and and I loved neat people. And one funny thing is Minal is very neat. Like, she'd wake up in the morning, she's neat personally, and then she wake up in the morning, clean up the house. Like, at first she was slow because she didn't really know how to do the work, coupled with the fact that she came from like a really rural area, I would say. So she didn't have the experience that I needed, so I had to put her through some things, and she was really slow. But after like a month, she picked up and all of that. And another thing, she didn't come off as someone that was really hungry, or how do I put it, bad to the quality, you get. Like, she doesn't really, the only thing I noticed with her was she liked watching TV, and I didn't have any issue with that. As far as while watching TV or watching my kids, you guys are in the parlor and I'm doing my thing. Anyway, fast forward to after about 3-4 months of being 3 months thereabout of being together, I used to notice some of my things missing, but my sister was with me, and then my husband was equally around, so I couldn't just really pinpoint who was doing the stealing, and I didn't want her to feel bad because she's new to the family. We were trying to call her a thief and all of that, so I tried my best to not really say she's the one. Luckily for us, my sister went back to school, and then Minal, it was just me and Minal because my husband equally traveled, so it was just the two of us. And I started noticing a lot of things. You guys, I'm fast forwarding way too much. I want to give you guys a little bit of details of the main reason why I decided that she should leave. But at the same time, let me give you guys the reason what triggered her leaving my house. I compounded like a lot of reasons, but I kept overlooking. I noticed a lot of things about her, but I kept overlooking because I just felt like, okay, she's a child, this is a new place, maybe when she adjusts a little, and we were all new to her, and probably it's overwhelming and all of that sort, especially with the work part, like the whole cleaning part and all of that. I noticed she like picked up really fast. So in my head, I just felt like everything is going to fall into place because my kids equally really are comfortable around her. Yeah. So at the end of this video, I'm just going to do a sit down chit chat where I explain to you all of the things that she did in the space and time of being with us. But the main reason why, what triggered me to let her go finally was her lying to me about stealing. You will want to stay tuned because this is a funny story. See how I'm sweating. Someone will now say that somebody should go to the gym. Like, which gym? This whole cleaning thing is a gym of its own. Anyway, guys, we're done. And I just woke up this morning from like last night's job. Actually, that cleaning was done from around 6 p.m. to after Maghrib, before Isha prayer. So like I was really exhausted. Normally I do the cleaning around 12 a.m. when everybody is sleeping. I've been finding it really hard to sleep these days, so I just do my cleaning that time, and then the following day all I'll be doing is like picking up after them, you know, little here and there. And this cleaning video, my house cleaning has been piled up for like 2 days before I decided to like do the video because I've been feeling down lately, like I said. Anyway, I'm supposed to be continuing the house help story. One funny thing is this house help story is a story that I am not even excited to tell. Like, I am eager to like forget that I experienced that, and I don't think I'm going to be having any live-in house help anytime soon. At least not really anytime soon. I feel like I can handle it. It's just I and my kids. My husband is not here, so I can handle it. I can just sometimes compile my work for like 2 days, and then sometimes I can, you know, do it immediately after, just clean up after ourselves and all of that. Anyway, when the first month Minal came, I noticed something about her. Like I said in my voiceover, she was blank. She had zero emotions. And like, why I said she was blank was when something happens to someone around her, she has zero emotions. She doesn't have that feeling of, oh, sorry, something, like when something bad happened. An incident happened while she was with Haifa. I was in the kitchen and they were in the backyard. I actually said she should pound pepper for me. So they were together, and then the pepper entered Haifa's eyes. Haifa was crying. I didn't know what happened. I peeped through my kitchen window, and this girl was just dead staring at my daughter while my daughter's eyes were closed, and she was screaming, "There's pepper in my eyes, there's pepper in my eyes." And I actually screamed at her. I yelled. I was like, you're with this girl, and you know, she's crying, she's screaming. Like, even if you cannot really wash her eyes for her or something, you're going to call my attention to it and tell me there's something happening to Haifa and you cannot handle it. But she was just there. She was just blank. Like, see, I don't even know how to do it with my face because I'm a very, very emotional person. I have emotions all over me. So I don't know how to just not be emotional. She was dead blank. So when everything when I cleaned Haifa's eyes and everything was over, one funny thing is my daughter, not because she's my daughter, but my daughter is a very emotional person and she doesn't really take things at heart. Anyway, she's a child. She wouldn't take things at heart. She actually went back to Minal and continued playing with her. So I called Minal to the kitchen and I asked her, like, do you have siblings? She said yes. How many? She said she has three after her, and three younger siblings after her. And I was like, okay, so you don't have Baki the Tose. I said it in Hausa, like Baki the Tose, like you don't pity people, you don't feel bad for when something happened to people. And she said no. Like her face was blank, like she was seriously saying no. And see, that got me so scared, because how can you be with somebody that has zero emotions? And my husband came back and I spoke to him about it, and he equally called her, he spoke to her, I even told him that severally we'll be in the kitchen, maybe oil splashes on my body, or maybe I touch a hot pot and I'll be like, oh, subhanallah, like something happened to me. My daughter will be, oh mama, what is it? When I tell her, she'll say, sorry mama, sorry. But this girl will just be there looking at us like, do you get? So I spoke to my husband and I was like, do you think we can stay with this girl with this kind of attitude? And he just showed me, he made me understand that she's a kid and maybe she doesn't really, they didn't teach her from home. I don't know if you teach somebody to be emotional. Me, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a young mom. I'm still learning on the job. So I can't really tell if you teach kids. My kids are super emotional. Like, there was a day I was yearning. And, sometimes you yearn and then you get teary and all of that. And Haifa asked me, what happened? Why was I crying? And I said, nothing. She still said, oh, mama, sorry. Sorry. And she tried to wipe off my tears. So you don't teach, I don't think you teach people that kind of thing. Well, I didn't teach mine. I can't remember, teaching her all of those things. But my kids are emotional, and I just feel like she's a child. Like every child has this certain level of innocence, you understand? So I didn't think she would be like that. We continued, staying with her with like that. And after another month, she adjusted. Before, she doesn't really play with my kids. She doesn't even carry my child. Like if I give her Hamad, she just hold him. She will not play with him. She's just there staring at him. There was a day in the car, Hamad was seated with her in the car seat. She was behind. We went to pick Haifa from school, and Hamad was crying. I was driving, and I was like, and I asked her, like, but don't you know how to play with kids? The guy is crying behind there with you, and you're just there. You're not even checking up on him, because I could like see them in the rear view mirror. She wasn't doing anything. She just sat down there and she was just looking at him and all of that. So when I said all of that, she started trying to play with him and all. At the long run, I had to pick my kid up because he was crying. So I think after all of the talks of not playing with them, not being emotional and all, I noticed she started doing something. When I am around, when I'm in the living room with them and they're watching TV and all, she tends to play with them and act like she doesn't really care about what's happening on TV. And whenever I'm in the living room, I'm normally not watching TV. I'm always on my phone. But while I'm on my phone, I still use my side eye, to look at the things that she's doing. And see, you can tell when someone is pretending. When something is genuine, I feel like, I don't know if that's my mother instincts or something like that. I feel like when someone is genuine, you would know the person is genuine. I just had this gut feeling that she was just acting up in my presence. I cannot even go for an afternoon nap and leave her and my kids in the living room, because I don't know, a part of me was scared, but I didn't know what I was scared for. And sometimes when I leave her and my kids, the next thing you hear is someone screaming, someone shouting and crying. Either Hamad is crying or Haifa is crying. If you come, what happened to Hamad? She'll say that he fell down and hit his head. Like, how did he fall down and hit his head? Someone that knows how to sit very well at that. Like when I'm around, why doesn't he fall? She will just tell you he fell on his own. So that just got me a bit at unease. Abi, how do you speak the English? So what I started doing is I would act like I am sleeping in my room. I'll leave my room door open and I'll just tiptoe and peep them in the parlor. And when I started doing that, I started noticing that she doesn't even care about my kids. Like she would glue herself to the TV. And my kids are not the television type. They don't really watch television. My kids are more like, I want to engage in a physical play session. That's the way Haifa is. That's the way Hamad is. They don't really care about cartoons. That's the reason why Haifa doesn't even have a cartoon character that she loves, because she doesn't really bother herself with like watching TV, watching cartoons and whatnot. She's more like she engaged in physical play. That's why I get them more of toys and educational like toys rather than gluing them to the TV for cartoons and whatnot. So when I noticed that, I just stopped. When we don't have anything to do during the day, I'll just keep my kids with me in my room and she would be in the living room. I don't stop her from staying in my living room. I don't stop her from watching the TV. I don't even watch the TV, so why should I stop her? And I just have this thinking that she would be bored. She might be bored. Rather than just keeping her idle, it's better she watches the TV and whatnot. And I don't put on any Hausa station. I make sure it's on an English channel or probably cartoon, so she doesn't really pick anything. So another thing I noticed was, after this girl came to my house, my daughter's Hausa became really conked. First, when I noticed my daughter's Hausa was getting conked, I wasn't bothered until when my daughter, I don't speak Hausa with my daughter, I speak English strictly. We speak Hausa, and my husband, I speak Hausa with Mina and like any other person that I speak Hausa with. And then my main language is English, and then Nupe, or I'm speaking Basa. Like I rarely would just randomly speak Hausa with even my husband. My conversations with him are 70% English, 30% Hausa, because that's how I was raised. Like Hausa wasn't really the main language in my house, in my household. So I do the same with my daughter, and she speaks English with me, and she speaks Hausa with Minal and Hausa with my husband. So I started noticing this pattern. Whenever she wants to communicate with me, she finds it very hard to like remember the words. She keeps going before she remembers the word, because she can't remember the word. She will just use the Hausa word for the word she's trying to tell me, and I'll still tell her, tell me in English, I don't understand what you're saying. And she'll try her possible best to remember the word she wants to say, and then she'll say it. So I became worried. I just felt like, I don't like this. She's definitely going to learn Hausa, but I don't want the Hausa to overshadow English and like my native language. So I was a bit worried. But when I complained to someone, they were like, no, don't worry. Like definitely she's going to learn Hausa. Dole zata koya Hausa. So don't really worry. And she's going to learn English too. Look at you. You're speaking very good English, and then you're equally speaking Hausa. So don't worry. So I swept that under the carpet too. Another thing I started noticing when she came to my house was some of my things started getting missing, and each time I voice out the whole, I can't find this, I can't find that, I would eventually find it, maybe in my wardrobe or maybe in Haifa's wardrobe. Like, when something gets missing and then you just say, oh, I can't find kaza, I can't find kaza. So whenever we have Capri Sun at home and biscuits and whatnot, I would notice I always give my kids the Capri Sun myself. I don't tell them to go pick it up. I don't tell Haifa to go pick up when she says she wants it. I don't tell her to go carry it by herself. I pick it up for her, because I don't want her to learn that go and pick it up, and one day she would wake up and not really ask for your permission. She's just going to go pick it up because that's what you say she should do whenever she asks you. I tend to not tell her to go pick up anything. I stand up and go give it to her myself. So sometimes we'll notice there are empty packs of Capri Sun, and my husband equally takes Capri Sun. So at a point I can't just say, oh, it is this girl that is stealing it, because my husband also takes it. I don't want to accuse her and make her feel like she's in my house because she's new in my house and I'm trying to call her a thief and all of that. And then my sister was with me too, so I couldn't really pinpoint. And then I noticed whenever I serve everybody their food, I'm not of the habit of putting my food in warmers. Like 70% of the time, when I'm done cooking, I serve everybody their food. Everybody eats. Whatever is remaining is still in the pot, and then whenever we want to eat again, we just warm it directly, or like, dish it and put it in a microwave. I started noticing that whenever I serve, let's say for example it's rice, and then I serve from the side. I don't just scoop all over the top of my food. I serve like from the side. So for example, if it's a full pot and I serve half of it, you see that the other half has a neat top, and the other half is almost done. I don't know how to explain it, but whenever I go back to my pot, because my husband doesn't go to the pot himself and my sister doesn't go to the pot herself, like I serve everybody their food by myself, and when you want to eat again, you tell me. Except once in a while my husband, but like my sister is not even a foodie, so she doesn't really go back to the pot herself. So I noticed, you see that it's like somebody used their hand, like they did a leg walk on top of my food, but I couldn't pinpoint because I had like everybody was in the house now. You cannot just start saying it is the girl. And I was feeling bad. Like I wouldn't want anybody to accuse me of stealing. So I tend to like really, really want to have like enough evidence before I call anybody around me. I'm coming. Before I call anybody around me like a thief or something. So luckily for me, there are a series of things that happened between I and her for the space of the 3 months before my husband traveled and my sister went back to school. But like all of that is just like the normal things that will happen. She was learning on the job and whatnot, so they were like the normal things that would happen between I and any house help entirely. So we kept going back and forth like that, and then my husband traveled. My sister left for school, and then my husband traveled, so it was just I and her in the house. So one fateful day, I made indomie for all of us. I was feeling lazy, I didn't want to cook, so I made indomie for all of us and egg. Then we had only one egg in the house, and Haifa was sick. She refused to eat the indomie, so I left hers in the pot, and then I left that boiled egg for her because she likes boiled egg. So I just left it in the pot, like whenever she wants to eat, I'll just give it to her. So they went to bed around 10 p.m. and I went to bed around 1 because I was on the phone with my husband. I checked because he's this security conscious person, so he would always make sure before you go to bed, you close the door, you close the kitchen door, you check your gas and whatnot. So I did all of that. I even checked up on the food. It was the way I left it, and I went to bed. She wakes up before us. After subhi, we go back to sleep, and then she wakes up before us and starts her walk. So I woke up, Haifa woke up and said she was hungry. I was like, there's food in the kitchen. I went to the kitchen. Minal was in the kitchen washing plates. So I opened the pot because I wanted to dish it in the plates and like microwave it. And then I opened the pot, and then you can see that the egg was more than half. They've eaten more than half of the egg, and you can see bite marks. It wasn't like maybe she cut it off with a spoon or maybe a knife. You could see bite marks on the egg, and then the food, she had equally eaten from it. And I was like, I left this food, and this egg was full, and then the food was, a certain quantity. What happened to it? Immediately she said, she didn't know. She didn't even know I kept it. That yesterday when I gave her food. See, you guys, if you've not seen Minal's picture or video, please go to my Eid vlog from the first Eid and the second Eid. I think she's in all of my videos. So so you guys will see her size and like the innocence on her face. Immediately she was like, I know that yesterday when I served her food, I did not put egg for her. She didn't even know that there was egg in the food, or blah blah blah. She said even me, she saw that there was no egg on my food, so she didn't even know there's egg. I was like, Minal, it's just me and you, and it's just overnight. You think you want to tell me that someone walked into my house and the only thing they could steal was indomie and egg? I just told her, see, I'm going to give you, I'm a kind of person that I give you time. If you confess to me, it's easier for me to like just scold you and just go. But if you let me get angry, it's not always funny. So I was like, I'll give you time to think about it now that you're washing plates. And when I come back to the kitchen, I'm going to ask you again. I actually threw away that food because I didn't give it to my daughter. Because I didn't know who handled it. I didn't know how they handled it. I don't know how. See, a lot of things were just going to my head. So I didn't give her the food. I went back to my fridge. I brought out something else, microwave for her, and gave it to her. So I came back to the kitchen about 30 minutes later. And I was like, Mina, what's up? Who ate this food? Who ate the egg? And she still said she had no idea. I was like, it's just me and you in this house. Nobody would come into my house and the only thing that comes to their head to steal is eat half of my egg and then just eat bits and pieces of the indomie. You guys, I don't starve this girl. She's the first person I serve food before I even serve my kids or my husband. See, my mom came to my house and she saw the amount of food I served to that girl and she was telling me, this is too much with her size and everything. You want to open her stomach to food and all. And I just kept saying, I don't want anybody to feel like, I don't want her to steal. There's this saying that says that if you treat them right, they will act right, they will treat your family right, they will equally treat you right. So I was very cautious of like not starving her. Like in my house, me and my kids, we eat breakfast around like 11-12 a.m. ish, and it can either be tea and bread, or sometimes we would microwave our leftover from like the previous day. And around 3 p.m. or so, 2-3 p.m. I would cook up lunch and dinner. So we would eat, maybe when I start 3 p.m, maybe around 5 I'm done. We'll eat around 5, and if anybody wants to eat again, maybe by 8, 9, 10 before we go to bed, I'll still ask. So I ask her and she'll tell me no, she's full, she doesn't need food. See, this girl just made me feel like, oh, she's not the hungry type, and so on and so forth, not knowing that she goes back to my pot to eat from my pot. So when I asked her the second time, she still denied it. I said, okay, I'm stepping out of my house to go and get Blala. I'm going to get cane and come back. If I come back and she doesn't have an answer for me, we're going to have serious issues. So I went out, I got Bulala, I came back, I asked her, and that was when she started confessing, and I was like, and it took you this long to tell me. After all, the first question was, like when you first came to my house, what was my ground rule? She said, and you had the audacity and the guts to lie to me. And this is not even the first time you're lying to me. Guys, I beat Shege out of her. I beat her. Because I was really pissed. My neighbor even came and she was like, yeah, Mama, if I've never seen you like this, what is it? I hate lies. See, I hate lies. Guys, in order not to make this this whole video long, I really don't want the video to be very long. So, when I noticed, after like 3 months of staying with me, I noticed she became really comfortable with my kids. She started playing with them and all of that. So whenever I want to go out to buy something, I don't really go far away from my house. Normally, it's like a 10, 15, 30 minutes tops drive. And I would leave my kids with her. Whenever I come back, my daughter is crying, my son is crying. See, Hamad doesn't really cry so much, but when Hamad is crying and doing, you know that he has cried for something must have happened for him to have cried that much. And whenever you ask her, she'll tell you nothing happened. So one fateful day, I went out, I left her. My neighbors always tell me that she's beating my kids, and I'll be like, oh no, maybe, Haifa has her own rikima, so maybe Haifa did something, and maybe, see, I just kept sweeping it under the carpet and just saying, they go along fine, she's really good with them, I see her playing with Hamad and all of that. I left her with Hamad and I left with Haifa, because I just felt like Haifa on a normal day, she's a handful, and the girl cannot handle Haifa and Hamad at the same time. So I just left her with Hamad at home and I went out with Haifa. Guys, I came back and my son was just crying. I was so scared. I asked her what happened to him. She said nothing happened. Did he cry? She said no, but I could see dry tears like around his face. I said, Gashina ya kuka, he cried now. What happened to him? She said nothing happened to him. I said, okay, I breastfed him. While I was breastfeeding in my room, I was on the phone with one of my friends, and she could hear me asking her, like, Minalzo, me someone na yara, me sami shege ama abinde sami shi ya padi neki, and when abia sami shi, she said no, that he only cried because he didn't see me. I wasn't around. That's why he was crying and all that. I was like, two. I breastfed him, and my son slept that afternoon for 4 hours. Guy that normally do not sleep that long. When he woke up, I said, okay, let me bathe him. We went to the toilet. I bathed him. We came out. While I was rubbing him Vaseline around his face, I noticed like a big bump on his forehead. I didn't even know why I didn't see it that time when I came back initially. I called her. I was like, what happened to this boy now? Look at his forehead. She said nothing happened to him. Guy, I was so scared. Like, if she can hide this thing from me, what if it was a serious fall? What if something happened to his head? I was even begging her, like, Minal, dan Allah ki gaya min in san me ya same shi, in san wani irin magani zan mishi, ban san me ya same shi ba. You understand? I kept asking her. This girl kept saying, ba abin da ya same shi, nothing happened. So when I saw that big bump on his forehead, I told her I was going to go and look for Blala and come back. If she doesn't tell me what actually happened to my son, I'll beat Shege out of her body. When I came back, and she saw me with the blala, she started telling me, he fell from, he was just sitting. That's always her excuse. He was just sitting down and he fell. You guys, a lot of bad things came through my head. We watch a lot of videos on social media. We see the way that, what are they calling it? House helps beat the hell out of your baby, and your baby might die or something. See, I was so scared. When she started confessing all of that, I was like, this is the height of it. I'm trying to look for an easy way of life, like to ease things for me while I run my business and all of that. You guys, if you've noticed in my vlogs, you no longer see makeup videos, because I keep considering, when someone books for makeup or something, I keep considering my kids. Where do I keep my kids? Who do I leave my kids with? Because of that fear of, you are now looking for an easy way of life for yourself and your kids, and you put your child under the care of another person, and then the person decides to treat your kids like that. Like, I was so scared, you guys. I was so scared. See, the height of it was that day that she did that food thing. A lot of things kept coming to my head. I was like, because there were times that I would go to the kitchen and I just leave my food overnight in the kitchen. The food would be foaming, the soup would be foaming, or the rice would be, all drawy, as if it's spoiled. Maybe someone puts their hand inside. And I always leave my kitchen vent open so that there will be like ventilation in the kitchen. There's no heat. See, sometimes at a point when that one stopped was when I started putting my food in the fridge. Whenever we're done eating, like 10 p.m, I'll just pack my soup, my everything, I'll just put it in the fridge. My Capri Sun and the rest, I transferred it to my bedroom. She doesn't really have too much access to my bedroom. So the day she was leaving, I asked her to bring her bag so we can go through it and whatnot. You guys, another discovery, when she was leaving, we opened her bag and we were going through her bag. This girl had my panties in her bag. I asked her, what are my panties doing in her bag that she used to wear it? And the panties we saw in her bag, they were clean. So I was like, you used to wear it, but these ones are clean. Obviously, they smell, because gaskia, when she came to my house, normally what I do is I would put my inner wears, my kids' wear and all of that in my laundry machine. When we're done washing, she would now put her own inside. We'll wash it, she'll rinse it and dry it. But then I think about 2-3 weeks after she came to my house, I was sleeping in my room when I just noticed everywhere was quiet. I stood up, I checked. Hamad and Haifa were sleeping too. I checked up on her and I saw her washing in the backyard. She was using my detergent comfortably without asking me, and she was washing in the backyard. I was like, we wash. Normally we put our clothes in the washing machine. Why are you not washing your clothes? Her clothes were dirty and she felt like washing it. I was like, and you did not ask me. You just felt like you're the madam of the house. You want to wash your clothes by yourself. So from today, I'll not put your clothes in my washing machine. Whenever you want to wash, you ask me. I'll give you a soap and detergent for her to go and wash. That was the first month of coming to my house, that was the last time I put her clothes in my washing machine. But what I do is, when I put all those things in the washing machine, she is the one who rinses them, and then I'll dry them because her hands cannot reach the rope we dry our clothes. So I'll dry them myself, she'll rinse them. Sometimes I'll rinse them myself if I'm in a hurry because she's kind of slow. So she now when I asked her, these panties in your bag are clean, so how do you wash them? Because I used to go to my backyard. See, me, I'm a kind of person that I don't just leave my affairs to someone. I always supervise. I'm always around, and I always observe things happening around me. So I always go to my backyard and I'll see her clothes, but I'll only see, she came with like few panties, so I'll only see her panties. I've never seen my panties on the rope and all of that. When I asked her how she washes, you guys, this one was the last straw. I just felt like, good, this is so scary for me. So she told me that what she does is, when she wears the panties, when she was wearing it, obviously I will not see it. I've never seen her naked. If she's in the toilet, I've never opened the door. I like giving people privacy, just like I like my own privacy too. So she wears them. Whenever we want to wash, she would pick them out of her things and throw them back. Right now, but it's funny, but it wasn't funny to me because I was just scared. You guys know that I talked about my IUD and I talked about how I was battling with infection back to back. Actually, I've been in sharing panties, the water I do not know. She'll pick them out of her things and then she'll throw them back into the washing machine. Then when I wash, she rinses, she dries. She's the one who packs them from the rope. Sometimes I do the parts that her hands cannot reach, and then when we bring them back, she's still the one that would pick out her mat's clothes, fold them separately, Haifa's clothes, fold them separately, and then my inner wears, fold them separately. So she would pick out of the inner wears again, pick another set, and then wears them for like the week, because we wash every weekend. You guys, I was terrified. Like, a lot of things went through my head. Siba, it's not even about how you treat them. Some are just devils. Like, they are devils. They've been I spoke to Minal's mom. She doesn't really sound like somebody that will not give her kids like the right upbringing. Like, I don't know her, but I've spoken to her over the phone. We've had conversations over the phone. So I don't just know. I don't want to say it's her parents. I don't want to say it's her. I don't want to say it's the way she was brought up or that's just the way she is. But guys, this girl did. See, I've forgotten some things because this whole live-in house help thing has traumatized me in a way that I just want to blank out of it and just act like it never happened. But not to blow my trumpet, I didn't treat her bad. I'm not even the type to like aesthetically go tell you to dress up because I want to make a video of you. So, or maybe give her food or treat her right because I'm trying to make a vlog. I've never made a vlog that is specifically for her. Like, I've never done that. She only just randomly find herself in my vlogs, and they are not pre-planned. Like, all of the times they are not pre-planned. I just in the spring of the moment just say, oh, Mina, or let me just add her to it and all of that, because I just felt like she was part of the family. When I called my husband and told him, because he's not in town, I called him and told him that this girl is leaving. I started narrating everything, and you guys, I started crying over the phone. I was like, Hassan, I do not treat this girl badly. I treat her right. I feed her right. I didn't do anything wrong. Why would she do this? He was just like, babe, I am equally in that house. I know how you treat her. See, you guys, I would go for shopping there was a time I went out to get 90s for myself. I didn't get 90s for my kids, so you guys, I got 90s for her, like lounge wears, those tops and trousers that she can wear in the house. And then, you guys, see, I just felt like I didn't deserve what she did because I was super nice. And I took her as my own. See, I used to tell people I have 3 kids. I don't even tell them my nanny. I'll be like, Yarinya and Azatutu, because she's a kid. I just felt like she has already been traumatized by her parents by sending her here to come and work. So why traumatize her more? Stuffs like that. And see, my neighbors and few of my friends were saying I'm making her too comfortable. Don't make them too comfortable. When they're too comfortable, they would start acting somehow. I didn't believe them, but then it happened. It happened. As soon as she left, I felt a form of relief because of the trauma. I just wasn't ready for like another house help, and seriously, I'm not ready for another house help. I'm just thinking maybe once in a while I'm going to call Hope to come and deep clean for me, and then maybe once a month, and then I'll just do the regular cleaning just like I did in this video. You guys, I'm only sharing this story because somebody reminded me in the comments of one of my vlogs that I said I was going to talk about her. I had zero energy. This one traumatized me more than the first one. Like the first one was really short, but this one gave me shege banza back to back. So I just didn't want to talk about it. Talking about it just felt like I was going to be reliving the experience, and see, I was not interested. Anyway, right now I don't have a help. It's just me and my kids, and we're boiling life. Me and my kids as a single mom of two. I keep saying I don't want this video to be long, and then the video is already long. So thank you so much guys for watching my video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. See you guys in my next video. Bye.